Hey guys, it's 𝙈𝙀𝙏𝙼 with 𝙂𝙊𝙇𝙑𝘿. It is Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Back with some more breaking news. This time it has to do with China going on lockdown again. According to Bloomberg, we could be facing the mother of all supply chain disruptions as China locks down its third city due to COVID. They locked down one city because 2 people had tested positive for COVID, locked the whole thing down. Another city, they had 21 test positive for COVID out of, I believe, 24 million. And so they're locking that down. So China is locking down due to any incidents of COVID, and 2 of these centers are the basis for their technology. So Bloomberg warns that we may have a shortage of iPhones and other electronics because 2 of the cities that China is locking down are big technology export areas of their economy. So we'll continue to monitor this story as it gets reported, but as of yesterday, big lockdowns coming in China. Bloomberg is phrasing this the potential biggest mother of all supply chain disruptions, and we know that it's going to affect the tech sector. We'll see what else is going to happen. Meanwhile, here in the United States, we had a negative manufacturing print this morning. The Empire State Manufacturing Index out of New York is showing a negative number on expectations of a very high positive number. So last month on the index, we had a 32. This month, economists were expecting a 25. We're actually at negative 0.7, meaning manufacturing here in the U.S. has actually started to turn down at the exact time that we're seeing the lockdowns in China. Huge risks here in that we don't manufacture most of our stuff, and manufacturing has started to draw back in the U.S. at the same time that China is relocking down due to some COVID-19 infections and trying to control its spread. I expect there to be a shortage of overall goods that we need, especially in the technology sector, but across the spectrum also as the United States manufacturing starts to turn down. Why is the U.S. manufacturing turned down? Well, as we've been documenting in the last few news segments, the retail consumer in the U.S. is completely tapped out. They had a whopping $40 billion in additional debt, which is double what people expected. They're using their credit cards. The sales in Q3 and Q4 of last year, 2021, inflation adjusted, are flatline and are not growing. The holiday season has not rescued the U.S. economy. So manufacturers here in the U.S. are starting to have less demand and they're turning down. A lot of this is due to inflation eating away consumer spending power and the power of the dollar to buy goods. In addition, because of COVID-19 lockdowns, Chinese goods are going to be harder to come by, and it's going to affect people across the world. We'll have to monitor that situation to see what happens. On the oil front, there's a Houthi attack in the UAE on some oil infrastructure, and it has caused a 7-year high in the cost of oil. We'll continue to follow that as well, but oil prices are going up. We've had that situation in the UAE, which is a major oil exporter. We'll have to see what happens to oil supplies as well. So 3 huge stories today. Oil prices surging partially on lack of overall supply, and we've covered that many times in the last 10 years on the channel. And when I used to write for Seeking Alpha, oil is getting harder to come by. The cheaper oil is getting harder to come by. Now we have this attack, the Houthi attack in the UAE, which is going to temporarily disrupt that supply. We're also having supply chain shortages based out of China in technology due to the issues we're having with coronavirus. And of course, here in the US, our manufacturing is starting to turn down because people are demanding less because the consumer is not as healthy as they used to be. 3 huge stories today. All of these are going to have a big impact on the economy going forward in 2022. I do have friends that think that the big reset happens this year in 2022. I'm not 100% convinced that the final stages of that are going to occur. I still think the powers that be, the central banks and the financial elite, need the central bank digital currencies to be further developed before they hit that reset button. However, it does look as though we're progressing down that line. The economics, the fundamentals are quickly deteriorating, not only in the United States, but across the world, as we expected would occur. It's going to put more pressure on the economy and more pressure on the banking system. They're going to need to roll out their replacement system, the central bank digital currencies here in the US using FedNow, much like the Chinese are rolling out with their digital yuan. The European Central Bank is rolling out with the digital euro, and the UK is going to roll out with the digital pound. So it looks like the Western system is deteriorating, and they're going to flip over central bank digital currencies. We're going to continue to monitor this on the channel. I was one of the first to talk about central bank digital currencies and the relationship to the private digital currencies such as Bitcoin, Tether, etc. We'll continue to cover that here on the channel as well. Stay tuned to Gold, Silver Pros for more. Wanted to remind everybody that on January 26th from 1 to 6 p.m. Central Time, we're having the Metals 2022 kickoff. Down below in the description will be a link. It is free registration for all attendees. We have several of your favorite speakers coming to talk. You'll see me as well in a roundtable session, and then from 5 to 6 p.m. we will be in a session where you can come talk to us in person, jump on camera and ask us any questions that you like. Plus we'll have some companies there if you're interested in investing in the space as well. We've got a really great keynote speaker coming. James Anderson from SD Bullion is going to be our keynote. We also have Tavi Costa. We have John Fennick, Andy Schechtman, Ian Everard, and many more as well. Stay tuned for that. June 26, 1 to 6 p.m. Central Time here. Well, the link is below for you to register for it. It'll be on Hopin. This will be our 4th such virtual conference. We'll start doing these quarterly so that you guys can reach out to us more often and we can interact with you more often as well. But go ahead and register at the link below for the January 26th conference. As always, thank you so much for supporting us on the channel. We'll continue to bring you breaking news as it occurs on the channel.